If they ignore you, act like this. Welcome back to Stoic in Your Life. Have you ever felt completely ignored by someone you care about and found yourself wondering what to do next? It's a tough situation, right? But what if I told you there's a smart, stoic way to handle it that can actually strengthen your relationships? Today we're uncovering some golden advice on how to act when someone decides to give you the silent treatment. Stick around because each principle we share is packed with insights you won't want to miss. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This quote is incredibly relevant here because it reminds us that we should strive to rise above the negative actions of others. Instead of reacting with hurt or anger, we maintain our composure and integrity, showing that we won't stoop to their level. Before we dive in, do me a small favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to join our amazing community, and drop a comment below with "I rise every day." This comment will be our mantra as we go through each point, reinforcing our commitment to handle these situations with grace and strength. So please comment, as this helps YouTube know that more people like you need to hear this. Are you ready? Let's get started. Principle 1. Welcome unconcern with external judgment. Have you ever felt like you're at the mercy of someone else's mood swings? Like you're a puppet on a string, constantly being pulled in different directions by the whims and emotions of those around you? It's a frustrating and disempowering feeling. But what if I told you that you have the power to cut those strings and take control of your own emotional state? Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This profound statement reminds us that we control our reactions, not the external events or opinions of others. Consider a modern scenario. Imagine your partner suddenly gives you the cold shoulder. Instead of spiraling into anxiety and overthinking, take a deep breath and tell yourself, "I rise above this." This doesn't mean you're ignoring their feelings or being insensitive. Instead, you're choosing to maintain your inner peace regardless of their behavior. You might even lighten the mood with a gentle comment like, "Looks like someone's turned on their invisible mode." Then give them space while you go about your day, unaffected and with a smile. This practice of emotional independence can be transformative, not just for you, but for all your relationships. When you stop reacting to others' moods and start focusing on your own well-being, you become a more centered and resilient person. You're no longer tossed around by the waves of others' emotions. Instead, you sail smoothly through the storm. Next time you feel ignored or face a moody partner, remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. Detach from the drama, keep your peace intact, and cheerfully affirm, "I rise above." It's your peace, and no one should have the remote control except you. Now let me share a story that brings this principle to life. Picture a young professional named Lisa, who works in a high-stress office environment. One day she notices her colleague, Jake, giving her the cold shoulder. In the past, this would have sent Lisa into a spiral of self-doubt and worry. She'd have spent hours wondering what she did wrong, how to fix it, and feeling anxious about the potential fallout. But Lisa has been practicing Stoicism, and she decides to approach the situation differently this time. Instead of letting Jake's behavior affect her, she acknowledges it with a calm mind. She thinks to herself, "Jake's mood is his own issue, not mine. I won't let it disturb my peace." She continues her work with a positive attitude, even making a light-hearted joke to another colleague to lift the office mood. By the end of the day, Jake's mood has shifted and he's back to his usual self. Lisa realizes that by maintaining her own peace, she not only protected her own well-being, but also contributed to a more positive environment around her. This story illustrates how embracing indifference to external opinions and moods can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. It's about taking control of your reactions and not letting others dictate how you feel. So, how can you apply this in your own life? Think about a time when someone else's mood affected you. How did you react? What could you have done differently to maintain your peace? By reflecting on these questions, you can start to develop a more stoic approach to handling external opinions and emotions. The key lesson here is to embrace indifference to external opinions. It's about understanding that you have the power to control your reactions and maintain your inner peace, regardless of what's happening around you. Remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom and make it a mantra. I rise above this. By doing so, you'll find yourself becoming less reactive, more centered, and better able to navigate the ups and downs of life. This practice will not only benefit you but also positively impact those around you. So next time you find yourself being ignored or dealing with a moody partner, detach from the drama, keep your peace intact, and cheerfully affirm, I rise above. Your peace is your power, and you alone hold the remote control. Principle 2. Contemplate the essence of connections. Have you ever paused to consider that not every relationship in your life deserves a front row seat? Much like keeping expired milk in the fridge, holding on to relationships that no longer serve you can spoil the harmony of your life. It's essential to recognize when it's time to let go, even if it's difficult. The insightful Greek philosopher Plato once mused, "Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back." Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. This quote beautifully highlights the reciprocal nature of healthy relationships. But what if the other heart doesn't whisper back? What if your attempts at connection are met with silence or indifference? This is an invitation to reassess the value and health of the relationship. Reflect on whether the relationship provides the mutual support and understanding that Plato describes, or if it has become a one-sided effort. Consider a friend who has become distant, or a partner who seems disinterested. Use these situations as opportunities to reflect. Is this relationship providing the harmony Plato described, or has the song gone a bit off-key? Sometimes, the most loving thing we can do for ourselves and others is to acknowledge that the relationship is no longer what it once was, and that it's time to move on. In practical terms, this might mean having a candid conversation over a cup of coffee where you can say, "Hey, I've noticed we're out of tune. What's up?" This approach isn't about placing blame or creating drama, but about understanding whether both of you are willing to work on the relationship or if it's time to part ways. Keep things light yet direct, addressing the gap without causing unnecessary tension. Remember, relationships are a two-way street. If you often find yourself walking alone, it might be time to consider if this path is still right for you. Reflect on the quality and reciprocity of your connections. Don't be afraid to ask if you both still enjoy the same song. As we navigate through life, it's crucial to rise above clinging to what no longer serves us. We must always be ready to find new harmonies in relationships that truly resonate with us. Think about the relationships in your life. Do they uplift and inspire you, or do they drain your energy? Are you holding on to relationships out of habit or fear of change? Ask yourself, what kind of relationships do I want to cultivate? Do my current relationships align with my values and goals? Reflect on these questions as you assess the people in your life. It's also important to recognize that not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives to teach us lessons, to help us grow, and to guide us on our path. When their role in our journey is complete, it's okay to let them go. This doesn't mean the relationship was a failure. Instead, it means that it served its purpose, and it's time to move forward. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Apply this wisdom to your relationships. How do you react when a relationship changes or ends? Do you hold on tightly, resisting the natural flow of life? Or do you accept the change with grace and understanding? Embracing the transient nature of relationships can bring a sense of peace and acceptance. It allows us to appreciate the moments we share with others without becoming overly attached to the outcome. It helps us to focus on the quality of our connections rather than the quantity. So, next time you find yourself questioning the value of a relationship, remember to reflect on its nature. Ask yourself if it brings harmony and joy, or if it has become a source of stress and discord. Have the courage to make changes when needed, and always seek relationships that uplift and inspire you. Life is too short to hold on to expired connections. As you continue on your journey, remember to cherish the relationships that bring joy and meaning to your life. Let go of those that no longer serve you, and remain open to new connections that align with your values and goals. By doing so, you'll create a life filled with meaningful and fulfilling relationships. Now, take a moment to reflect on your current relationships. Which ones bring you joy and fulfillment? Which ones feel like they are holding you back? How can you nurture the relationships that matter and gracefully let go of those that no longer fit? By asking these questions, you can begin to cultivate a network of connections that truly enrich your life. Relationships are a vital part of our journey. They shape who we are and who we become. By reflecting on the nature of our relationships and making conscious choices about who we surround ourselves with, we can create a life that is harmonious, fulfilling, and true to our values. So let's rise above what no longer serves us and embrace the relationships that resonate with our true selves. Principle 3. Foster independence. In a world where external validation often dictates our mood, learning to cultivate self-sufficiency can be a game changer. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." Let's explore how reclaiming our inner paintbrush can lead to a more fulfilling and resilient life. Isn't it curious how we often expect others to be the architects of our happiness, like waiting for someone else to paint the colors of our mood each day? Imagine you're planning a romantic dinner, hoping it will fix a rough patch in your relationship. But what if your partner isn't as enthusiastic as you hoped? Instead of letting disappointment cloud the evening, take a moment to enjoy your own company and the effort you put into the setup. Crack a joke like, "Well, I guess I made enough delicious pasta to solve world hunger tonight." This shows you can find humor and happiness even if the evening didn't go as planned. Cultivating self-sufficiency means finding fulfillment within ourselves instead of relying solely on others to provide it. It's about enjoying that pasta dish on your own if need be, appreciating your own effort, and knowing that your happiness doesn't hinge on someone else's reactions. So let's tighten our grip on that paintbrush, friends. Whether it's in relationships or life's other arenas, remember that self-sufficiency is your secret weapon. It allows you to navigate ups and downs with grace and a bit of humor. And whenever you find yourself slipping into dependency, gently remind yourself, "I rise above," and take back control over your happiness. For example, consider the story of Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers. Despite his challenging circumstances, he famously said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This perspective highlights the importance of inner contentment and self-sufficiency. By focusing on what we can control and finding satisfaction within ourselves, we liberate our happiness from the whims of external factors. This mindset is especially relevant in modern life, where social media and societal pressures often lead us to seek validation from others. By cultivating self-sufficiency, we build a resilience that shields us from the inevitable disappointments and fluctuations of life. Picture yourself at work, striving for a promotion or recognition. While external validation is gratifying, true fulfillment comes from knowing you've given your best effort and have grown through the process. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This quote reminds us that our sense of abundance and satisfaction comes from within, not from external accolades. In personal relationships, self-sufficiency doesn't mean detaching or becoming emotionally distant. Instead, It involves bringing your whole, fulfilled self into the relationship, enriching it with your inner strength and contentment. When you are self-sufficient, you can support your partner without losing yourself, and you can enjoy companionship without becoming dependent. It's like being the sturdy oak in a forest, able to stand strong and provide shelter without needing to lean on others for your own stability. As we navigate the ups and downs of life, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all taught that true happiness and resilience come from within. By cultivating self-sufficiency, we take control of our own happiness, painting our days with joy and contentment regardless of external circumstances. So, the next time you feel your happiness slipping away due to others' actions, tighten your grip on that paintbrush. And remember, you are the best chef in the house of your own happiness. Thank you for being here and watching this video. Have you ever experienced being ignored and found a way to handle it with Stoic principles? Share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. If you're not sure what to comment, try this. Applying Stoicism helps me stay calm and focused when I feel ignored. And Principle 4. Turn challenges into pathways. It's easy to feel hurt and frustrated when someone ignored you. But what if I told you that these very moments could be the key to your personal growth and deeper understanding of your relationships? The Stoic principle, the obstacle is the way, brilliantly interpreted by modern philosopher Ryan Holiday, suggests that our challenges are not just hurdles, but opportunities for transformation. This principle teaches us to turn obstacles into stepping stones, using them to foster personal development and stronger relationships. Picture this. You're excited about an upcoming anniversary, but your partner forgets the date. It's natural to feel disappointed and even hurt, but instead of viewing this as a failure on their part, consider it a chance to communicate your feelings and set future expectations. A lighthearted comment like, "Looks like we're both getting too seasoned to remember dates. Maybe we should get that giant calendar I saw at the mall," can diffuse tension and open the door for constructive dialogue. Humor not only addresses the issue but also fosters a more relaxed and understanding atmosphere. The essence of using the obstacle as the way lies in seeking solutions rather than dwelling on problems. It encourages us to ask ourselves, how can this improve our relationship? Or, what can I learn from this situation? This perspective enhances our resilience and empathy, turning difficult moments into opportunities for growth. For example, if a friend continuously cancels plans instead of feeling rejected, use the situation to explore why it bothers you and how you can communicate your needs more effectively. This shift in perspective helps you understand not only your friend's behavior, but also your own expectations and emotional responses. Let's bring this idea into a real-world scenario. Imagine you're working on a team project at your job, and one team member consistently fails to meet deadlines. This can be incredibly frustrating, but instead of harboring resentment, see it as an opportunity to enhance your leadership skills. Approach the situation with empathy and a problem-solving mindset. You might say, "I've noticed you've been struggling to meet the deadlines. Is there anything I can do to help or any obstacles you're facing?" This opens up a supportive dialogue, showing your team member that you care about their success while also addressing the issue at hand. In every relationship, whether personal or professional, challenges are inevitable. But these challenges are not meant to break us. They're there to build us. Embracing each obstacle as a stepping stone helps us practice patience, improve communication, and strengthen our bonds with others. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who faced numerous setbacks while inventing the light bulb. Each failure wasn't a defeat, but a lesson, guiding him closer to success. This mindset is crucial in relationships too. When things go wrong, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And how can I use this to grow? Engaging with obstacles positively also involves setting boundaries and expressing your needs clearly. If someone constantly ignores your messages instead of feeling dejected, reflect on how you can assert your value, and communicate your feelings effectively. A straightforward conversation can often clear misunderstandings and set the tone for more respectful interactions in the future. Moreover, adopting this Stoic approach means recognizing the impermanence of all things. The feelings of being ignored or unappreciated are temporary, and how you respond to them can create lasting changes. Embrace the mantra, "I rise above," to remind yourself that you are not defined by these fleeting moments, but by your ability to navigate through them with grace and wisdom. Consider the story of a young professional, Sarah, who felt sidelined in her job. Instead of letting the situation dampen her spirits, she took it as a chance to learn new skills and seek mentorship. Over time, her perseverance paid off, and she not only gained recognition but also grew significantly in her career. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of using obstacles as a way to rise above and achieve personal growth. As we navigate through life's challenges, let us remember that every difficult moment is an opportunity to practice patience, improve our communication, and strengthen our relationships. By viewing obstacles as pathways to growth, we not only enhance our resilience but also build a deeper understanding and connection with those around us. So the next time you feel ignored or unappreciated, take a deep breath, rise above the immediate frustration, and look for the lesson within. Ask yourself, how can I turn this situation into an opportunity for growth? And what can I learn about myself and others through this experience? By doing so, you transform challenges into valuable life lessons, fostering a more fulfilling and harmonious journey. Remember, every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise, and with the right mindset, you can turn any challenge into a stepping stone towards a brighter future. Principle 5. Embrace compassionate understanding. When someone ignores you or there's a misstep in communication within a relationship, your initial reaction might be frustration or resentment. But what if, instead, we saw these moments as opportunities to practice one of the most liberating Stoic principles, forgiveness? The wise Alexander Pope once said, "To err is human, to forgive divine." This quote isn't just beautiful, it's deeply practical, showing that forgiveness is an elevated, almost sacred act that frees us from the weight of bitterness and anger. Think about a time when your partner forgot to call when they were running late. It's easy to let irritation take over, but imagine responding with forgiveness instead. When they finally arrive, you could make a light joke like, "I was about to send a search party, but I guess you saved them the trouble." This humor not only eases the tension but also creates a space for understanding and reassurance, allowing you to move forward without holding a grudge. Forgiveness in relationships doesn't mean ignoring mistakes or poor behavior. It's about not letting these issues derail your journey together. It involves acknowledging the problem, discussing ways to prevent it from happening again, and then truly letting it go. This approach not only fosters a nurturing environment for both personal and mutual growth, but also deepens the trust and respect between you and your partner. So, friends, let's make a conscious choice to practice forgiveness actively. Each time you choose to forgive, you're reinforcing your own peace and commitment to harmony in your relationships. Remember, every act of forgiveness is a step towards a more compassionate and resilient partnership. As we forgive, we rise above fleeting disputes to reach the heights of grace and understanding. When someone ignores you, it can feel like a personal slight, a deliberate act to hurt you or dismiss your presence. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, is it possible that the other person is dealing with their own struggles, their own battles that have nothing to do with you? Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you feel ignored, remember that your peace comes from within, from how you choose to react to external circumstances. In those moments when you feel overlooked or unimportant, think about how you can practice empathy. Perhaps your friend who hasn't returned your call is overwhelmed with their own issues. Instead of jumping to conclusions or harboring resentment, reach out with kindness. Send a message saying, "I hope everything's okay with you. I'm here if you need to talk." This approach not only shows your strength but also your capacity for compassion. Let's consider a workplace scenario. Suppose your efforts go unacknowledged, and it seems like your contributions are ignored. It's natural to feel dejected, but this is another opportunity to practice Stoic resilience. Reflect on Epictetus's wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Use this as a chance to evaluate your actions and improve yourself, not for recognition, but for your own growth and satisfaction. Now, imagine you're in a social setting, and someone you consider a friend is giving you the cold shoulder. Instead of letting this ruin your evening, take a step back and assess the situation calmly. Ask yourself if this person's opinion should have the power to affect your mood. Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Sometimes our minds amplify situations, making them seem worse than they are. By keeping a rational perspective, you can maintain your tranquility. To help solidify these concepts, let's look at a practical exercise. Next time you feel ignored, try this. Pause, take a deep breath, and count to 10. Reflect on whether this moment will matter in a week, a month, or a year. Often, you'll find that it won't. This simple act of mindfulness can shift your perspective and help you maintain your inner peace. In every relationship and interaction, forgiveness and understanding play crucial roles. As you navigate through life, you'll encounter many instances where you feel slighted or ignored. How you choose to respond to these moments defines your character and shapes your path. By practicing forgiveness, empathy, and rational thinking, you cultivate a resilient spirit and a serene mind. As we near the end of today's discussion, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences. Have there been times when you felt ignored and reacted negatively? How might you handle similar situations differently in the future? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Let's create a community where we support each other in our Stoic journeys, learning and growing together. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, the power to rise above lies within you. Each act of forgiveness, every moment of understanding, brings you closer to a life of peace and fulfillment. Stay strong, stay compassionate, and continue to rise above. Principle 6. Rely on your inner wisdom. Life often presents us with moments when we feel ignored or overlooked, be it in our personal relationships, at work, or in social settings. For men aged 30 to 65 who are learning about Stoicism, it's crucial to understand how to navigate these challenging times with grace and wisdom. When you're being ignored, it's a critical time to lean into your intuition, your inner voice. This guiding force can often tell you more about the situation than surface actions or words. As Shakespeare famously wrote, "Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string." This quote beautifully encapsulates the essence of trusting our own senses and judgments, even when external validation is lacking. Imagine you're in a scenario where someone you care about has suddenly become distant. Instead of spiraling into worry or constructing narratives in your mind, pause and consult your inner feelings. How has this person's behavior pattern been? Is their silence out of character? Your intuition might help you discern if they're just caught up in their own issues, or if the silence signifies something about your relationship. In these moments, turning inward and trusting your intuition can provide clarity and peace. Trusting your inner voice means listening deeply to your own emotions and thoughts before reacting. This internal compass is your ally in navigating relational dynamics, especially when communication isn't straightforward. Think of a time at work when a colleague or boss seemed to overlook your contributions. Instead of immediately reacting with frustration or resentment, pause and listen to your inner voice. Reflect on the broader context. Are they preoccupied with other projects? Are there external pressures affecting their behavior? Your intuition can guide you to understand these nuances. allowing you to respond calmly and strategically. Perhaps it suggests giving the situation some time, or maybe it nudges you to have a constructive conversation to address your concerns. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom encourages us to prioritize listening, both to others and to ourselves. By doing so, we gain a deeper understanding of the situations we face and can respond more thoughtfully. Trusting your inner voice means acknowledging your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. It's about finding a balance between introspection and action. Consider the example of dealing with silence in a close friendship. Your friend, who is usually communicative, suddenly becomes distant. Instead of jumping to conclusions, take a step back and reflect. Are they going through a tough time? Have there been changes in their life recently? Your intuition can help you gauge the situation. Maybe that voice suggests giving the person some space, or perhaps it nudges you to reach out and ask if everything is okay. For instance, you could send a light, humorous message. "Hey, just checking if you've been abducted by aliens since you've been unusually quiet. Everything is cool?" Remember, your intuition is a powerful ally in navigating relational dynamics, especially when the communication isn't as straightforward. So trust that internal compass. It might not always lead you to immediate answers, but it will guide you to respond in ways that are true to yourself. As we continue to embrace the wisdom of I rise above, let your inner voice be the wind beneath your wings, helping you rise above confusion and uncertainty. Trusting yourself is not just about making the right decisions. It's about making decisions that are right for you. Modern life is filled with distractions and external pressures, making it easy to lose sight of our inner guidance. However, by practicing Stoic principles and trusting our inner voice, we can navigate these challenges more effectively. As Marcus Aurelius, another prominent Stoic, said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This reminds us that our inner world profoundly impacts our outer experiences. By cultivating a strong, clear inner voice, we can approach life's difficulties with resilience and clarity. When you find yourself being ignored or feeling overlooked, turn inward and trust your inner voice. It will provide you with insights and guidance that go beyond surface-level interactions. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or social scenarios, listening to your intuition can help you respond with wisdom and authenticity. Embrace the Stoic philosophy of self-trust, and let it empower you to rise above challenges with grace and confidence. By doing so, you'll not only navigate these situations more effectively, but also strengthen your inner resilience and wisdom, guiding you to live a more fulfilling and balanced life. Principle 7. Pursue transparency through sincere dialogue. Navigating through the murky waters of being ignored can often leave us guessing, but guesswork isn't a good foundation for any relationship. As the eloquent George Bernard Shaw pointed out, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. This highlights a crucial point. Assuming others know how we feel or that we understand their silence can lead to misunderstandings and missed connections. When you feel ignored, it might be tempting to mirror that behavior or withdraw into silence yourself. However, a more stoic approach would be to engage in honest, open communication. For instance, if a friend or partner has been distant, reaching out to them with sincerity can clear the air. You might say something like, "I've noticed we haven't talked much lately, and I'm wondering if everything's okay on your side. I value our relationship and just want to make sure we're good." This approach does more than just address the issue. It sets a tone of respect and concern rather than confrontation. It shows that you're not just reacting to being ignored, but actively seeking to understand and resolve the underlying issues. It's about breaking the cycle of silence with the strength of clarity and empathy. Consider this. A colleague at work has been giving you the cold shoulder, and you start to feel excluded. Instead of letting resentment build, you decide to approach them during a coffee break. You say, "Hey, I've noticed we haven't been collaborating as much recently, and I miss our teamwork. Is there something bothering you that we can talk about? This direct yet gentle approach not only opens the door to honest dialogue, but also demonstrates your willingness to listen and understand their perspective. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to misinterpret silence as disinterest or animosity. But by seeking clarity through honest communication, we dismantle the barriers that silence erects. Imagine you're at a family gathering, and a relative seems unusually quiet. Instead of assuming they're upset or indifferent, you ask, "I've noticed you've been a bit quiet today. Is everything okay? I'm here if you need to talk." This simple act of reaching out can transform potential misunderstandings into opportunities for deeper connection. As we keep rising above with, "I rise above," let's not shy away from those conversations that could potentially mend gaps and deepen connections. Honest communication is a bridge built on the pillars of understanding and respect. And it's one of the most effective tools we have in maintaining healthy, fulfilling relationships. Let's continue to use our words to heal, connect, and elevate the dialogue. Remember the story of a young professional named Alex who felt ignored by his mentor. Instead of harboring feelings of resentment, Alex decided to express his concerns directly. He approached his mentor and said, "I value your guidance and have noticed we haven't been communicating as much. Is there something I can do to improve our interaction?" This opened up a constructive conversation, leading to a stronger, more collaborative relationship. So, when you find yourself in a situation where you feel ignored, resist the urge to reciprocate with silence. Instead, take the Stoic path of clear and compassionate communication. Ask open-ended questions like, "Can we talk about what's been going on?" or "How can we improve our communication?" These questions invite dialogue and show that you are invested in the relationship. By addressing the issue head-on with empathy and clarity, you not only resolve misunderstandings but also strengthen your bonds. The next time you feel ignored, remember the power of honest communication. It's not about confronting or accusing, but about seeking understanding and resolution. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism, which teaches us to approach every situation with calm and rationality. Use your words to bridge gaps, build connections, and rise above the silence. The lesson here is simple. Clarity through honest communication can transform relationships and lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. By speaking openly and sincerely, we pave the way for healthier interactions and a more connected life. Principle 8. Uphold your integrity. When you feel ignored or sidelined, it's natural to want to retaliate or let your standards slip to match the behavior you're experiencing. However, as a follower of Stoic philosophy, it's essential to maintain your virtue regardless of others' actions. This principle is beautifully encapsulated by Epictetus, who said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This powerful quote reminds us that true strength and character are not demonstrated by how we talk about our values, but by how we live them, especially when we're under pressure. Imagine a scenario where someone you care about starts ignoring you. It's tempting to mirror their behavior, but maintaining your virtue means continuing to treat them with kindness and respect, regardless of their attitude towards you. This doesn't mean you allow yourself to be mistreated. It means you rise above petty reactions and maintain a dignified composure. For example, you might keep your interactions light and polite, perhaps injecting a bit of humor to show you're keeping things in perspective. "Hey, just wanted to make sure you hadn't turned into a statue. You've been so quiet." By responding in this manner, you not only preserve your self-respect, but also leave the door open for the other person to re-engage without resentment or awkwardness. When you maintain your virtue in such situations, you serve as a testament to your character and often inspire those around you to reflect on and possibly adjust their own behaviors. This approach fosters an environment where respect and kindness prevail, paving the way for deeper understanding and reconciliation. Consider the words of Marcus Aurelius, who said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. This profound insight highlights the importance of staying true to your principles, even when faced with negative behavior. By not stooping to the level of those who mistreat you, you uphold your integrity and demonstrate true strength. Think about a time when someone ignored you or treated you unfairly. How did you respond? Did you maintain your composure and virtue? Or did you react in a way that you later regretted? Reflecting on these moments can help you understand the importance of embodying your values, even in challenging situations. Another valuable perspective comes from Seneca, who advised, "It's not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it's because we do not dare that they are difficult." This quote encourages us to take the higher road even when it's tough. By daring to maintain your virtue in the face of adversity, you make the path less difficult for yourself and others. In the context of being ignored, maintaining your virtue means not allowing someone else's behavior to dictate your actions. It's about staying true to who you are and what you believe in, regardless of external circumstances. This steadfastness can be incredibly powerful and often leads to positive outcomes even if they are not immediately apparent. Now let's take a moment to reflect on how you can apply this principle in your own life. Have you ever felt ignored or sidelined at work, by friends, or even by family members? How did you handle it? Could you have approached the situation differently by maintaining your virtue? Open-ended questions like these can help you explore your responses and find ways to improve your interactions in the future. Maintaining your virtue isn't just about staying true to yourself. It's also about leading by example. When you consistently demonstrate respect, kindness, and integrity, you encourage others to do the same. This can create a ripple effect, fostering an environment where positive interactions are the norm rather than the exception. For instance, if you consistently treat others with respect and kindness, even when they don't reciprocate, you set a standard for behavior that others may eventually follow. Your actions can inspire those around you to reflect on their own behavior and strive to improve. The next time you feel ignored or sidelined, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Maintain your virtue by embodying your values, treating others with respect and kindness, and rising above petty reactions. By doing so, you not only preserve your self-respect but also create an environment where positive interactions can flourish. As you navigate through life's challenges, keep in mind the words of Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, and let their wisdom guide you towards a path of virtue and integrity. How will you choose to embody your values today? If you've made it this far, you're embodying the true spirit of Stoicism. Drop a comment saying, "I am unshaken," to show you're embracing the power of resilience and inner peace. Stay tuned, because the journey to becoming your strongest self is just beginning. Principle 9. Envision the best reaction. Have you ever reacted to being ignored in a way that you later regretted? It happens to the best of us. Stoicism teaches us to prepare for life's challenges by visualizing our ideal responses beforehand. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius advised, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. This suggests that being proactive and prepared is key to maintaining our composure, much like a wrestler anticipates moves in advance. When you feel ignored, instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to visualize how the best version of yourself would handle the situation. Imagine yourself responding with patience, wisdom, and a touch of humor. For example, if a significant other is giving you the silent treatment, instead of letting frustration build, picture yourself saying something light-hearted yet poignant like, "We seem to be playing a game of who can be the quietest. I think you're winning, but I'm here when you're ready to talk." This method of visualization not only prepares you for actual encounters, but also helps reduce anxiety and increases your ability to manage situations with grace. By mentally rehearsing your ideal responses, you align your actions with your values, ensuring that when the time comes, your real reactions are measured, thoughtful, and in line with your principles. Visualization is more than just a mental exercise. It's a practice that enables us to transform potential conflicts into opportunities for growth and connection. By anticipating and rehearsing our responses, we can ensure that our real-world actions reflect our deepest values and intentions. This doesn't mean that every interaction will go as planned, but it does equip us with the tools to handle unexpected reactions with dignity and poise. Think of visualization like a rehearsal for a play. Just as actors rehearse their lines to ensure a flawless performance, visualizing our responses helps us articulate our thoughts and emotions effectively when the moment arises. This practice can be particularly valuable in relationships where emotions run high, and the wrong word or tone can escalate tensions. Moreover, using visualization to prepare for these moments teaches us a lot about ourselves. It helps us identify our triggers and the responses that don't serve us well, allowing us to cultivate healthier, more constructive reactions over time. Each scenario we visualize, and each response we rehearse, strengthens our emotional resilience and enhances our ability to navigate complex interpersonal dynamics. By preparing ourselves mentally for these challenges, we not only improve our interactions, but also strengthen our character. This approach allows us to handle life's slights with grace and humor, turning potential conflict into moments of learning and connection. Remember, every time you choose to respond thoughtfully, you're not just preserving relationships. You're also cultivating a stronger, more resilient self. Let's keep using visualization to refine our responses, ensuring that we meet each situation not just adequately, but with excellence. This is how we rise above, by preparing, practicing, and embodying the best versions of ourselves, no matter the challenge at hand. How different would your life be if you could always respond with wisdom and composure, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth? Stoicism offers us the tools to do just that, and today, we will explore how visualizing our ideal responses can transform our reactions and strengthen our character. As Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." By preparing ourselves through visualization, we can seize every opportunity to rise above and embody the best versions of ourselves. When you feel ignored instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to visualize how the best version of yourself would handle the situation. Imagine yourself responding with patience, wisdom, and a touch of humor. For example, if a significant other is giving you the silent treatment, instead of letting frustration build, picture yourself saying something lighthearted yet poignant, like, "We seem to be playing a game of who can be the quietest. I think you're winning, but I'm here when you're ready to talk." This method of visualization not only prepares you for actual encounters but also helps reduce anxiety and increases your ability to manage situations with grace. By mentally rehearsing your ideal responses, you align your actions with your values, ensuring that when the time comes, your real reactions are measured, thoughtful, and in line with your principles. Visualization is more than just a mental exercise. It's a practice that enables us to transform potential conflicts into opportunities for growth and connection. Principle 10. Release attachment to results. When you find yourself ignored or overlooked, it's entirely natural to hope for a specific outcome after reaching out or expressing your feelings. You might yearn for an apology, a change in behavior, or at the very least, some form of acknowledgement. However, one of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the art of detachment from the outcomes of our actions. The sage Epictetus famously said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This profound insight reminds us that while we can control our actions and intentions, the reactions of others are ultimately beyond our control. Imagine a situation where you've decided to openly communicate with someone who has been giving you the cold shoulder. You maintain your virtue, infuse humor to keep the mood light, and approach the conversation with kindness and clarity. Despite all this, the other person may still choose to remain distant or even completely unresponsive. In such moments, practicing detachment from the outcome is crucial. It helps preserve your inner peace and prevents feelings of discouragement or resentment. For instance, If you reach out to a friend who has been ignoring you and they still don't respond, it's essential to remind yourself, I rise above. This mantra serves as a reinforcement that you've done your part well. It reminds you that their response, or lack thereof, does not define your worth or diminish the value of your efforts. By detaching from the outcomes of your actions, you find peace regardless of the outcome. It involves recognizing that your true happiness and peace of mind must come from within, not from the external validations or responses of others. This detachment is not an act of indifference but a practice of equanimity. It's about accepting that we cannot force people to act as we wish but can only control our own actions and reactions. This realization frees us from the often exhaustive cycle of expectation and disappointment. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, our attitudes, our integrity, we align ourselves more closely with Stoic principles, leading to a more serene and contented life. Moreover, this practice of detachment enhances our relationships. It allows us to interact with others in a way that is free from pressure, manipulation, or undue expectation. People are more likely to respond positively when they don't feel coerced or expected to act in a certain way. Detachment fosters a genuine environment where relationships can thrive on sincerity and mutual respect. Reflect on a modern scenario where this principle can be applied. Imagine you are working on a collaborative project at work. You've put in considerable effort, shared your ideas, and hoped for constructive feedback from your colleagues. However, the feedback is lukewarm or non-existent. Instead of feeling demoralized, you remind yourself, I rise above. You've contributed your best, and that effort stands independently of others' responses. Your sense of accomplishment and satisfaction comes from knowing you acted with diligence and integrity, not from the external validation of your peers. Remember, it's not about the response you receive, but the dignity and peace with which you handle the situation. By focusing on our actions and letting go of our attachment to specific results, we not only achieve greater personal tranquility, but also open ourselves up to the true essence of Stoic freedom, living in harmony with whatever life presents us. How do you handle situations where your efforts are met with silence or indifference? Do you find it challenging to detach from the desired outcomes? Reflecting on these questions can deepen your understanding and application of Stoic principles in everyday life. The key lesson here is to focus on what you can control: your actions, your reactions, and your mindset. Detaching from the outcomes allows you to maintain inner peace and resilience. It is a powerful reminder that while you cannot control how others respond, you can always control how you conduct yourself. By doing so, you uphold your values and integrity, paving the way for a life of tranquility and fulfillment. Navigating the complexities of relationships can be challenging, especially when you're unsure if the other person shares your interest. To avoid getting stuck in an awkward situation or one-sided relationship, it's important to pay attention to her attitude and behavior. Don't wait for her to bluntly say she's not interested. Instead, look out for the signs below, as highlighted by Askman, to determine if your relationship is stuck in the friend zone. Here comes 6 signs. She's ignoring you. She said she wasn't ready for a relationship. Women often use this phrase when they catch the attention of someone they aren't interested in. Alternatively, they might decline with indirect but clear words like, "You are very nice, but I'm sorry." When she says this to you, the meaning is unmistakable. She doesn't want a romantic relationship with you, and you shouldn't hold on to the hope that she'll change her mind someday. She mentioned that she wasn't ready for a relationship. This statement, although straightforward, holds deeper implications when examined closely. One significant observation is that she never took the initiative to call or text you. This behavior is quite telling. If she had any feelings for you, even the smallest inkling of affection or interest, she would undoubtedly reach out to you on her own accord. This initiative is a natural expression of someone who cares, who wants to stay connected, and who thinks about the other person even when they are not together. On the other hand, if your presence in her life holds no significance, she wouldn't feel the need to check in on you. Your well-being, whether you're feeling healthy or ill, joyful or downcast, wouldn't cross her mind. The absence of communication, especially if you've never received a call or a message from her, indicates that you might not be within her emotional coverage area. This metaphorical zone is where she extends her emotional energy and attention. Being outside of it suggests that you don't occupy a meaningful place in her thoughts or feelings. So, if you find yourself never on the receiving end of her proactive communication, it's a clear sign that your importance to her is minimal. She simply doesn't have the emotional investment in you to initiate contact. This realization, while potentially painful, is crucial for understanding where you truly stand in her life. It helps you see the reality of the situation, allowing you to move forward with clarity and, hopefully, find someone who values and reciprocates your feelings. She consistently avoids making eye contact and steers clear of physical closeness. This is a subtle but telling sign that often goes unnoticed by men. When a woman has genuine feelings for someone, she naturally gravitates towards being close and making eye contact with that person. It's a way of connecting and expressing interest. On the other hand, when she isn't interested, she will deliberately avoid looking at the person and will find ways to hide away or create distance to avoid any physical contact. This behavior is a clear indication of her lack of interest or discomfort. A girl is often open and willing to share everything with someone who makes her feel comfortable and understood. When she feels a genuine connection, her words flow naturally, and she dives deep into conversations, revealing her thoughts and feelings without hesitation. However, if she doesn't feel this connection, her behavior changes noticeably. She might give short, terse answers, or respond in a manner that feels like a routine question-and-answer session, devoid of enthusiasm or interest. If your conversations with her tend to fizzle out quickly, and she shows no inclination to introduce new topics or sustain the dialogue, it's a clear sign. It indicates that she's not particularly interested in talking to you, or at the very least, the subjects you're bringing up aren't captivating her interest or holding her attention. Stay calm and cool with your jokes. Imagine this. You've spent hours brainstorming and crafting what you think is the perfect joke, only to be met with a stony, emotionless expression from her. Her face remains as cold as stone, showing no hint of amusement. What does this reaction mean? Firstly, it indicates that she simply doesn't find your joke funny. Despite your best efforts, the humor in your story hasn't struck a chord with her. Everyone's sense of humor is different, and what might be hilarious to you could fall flat for someone else. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, her reaction suggests that she doesn't feel a strong enough connection with you to even pretend to find your joke amusing. In social situations, people often laugh or smile out of politeness, even if they don't find the joke particularly funny. If she can't muster a chuckle or a smile, it might be a sign that she isn't invested enough in the interaction to offer even a polite laugh. So, what should you do? Stay cool and composed. Humor can be a tricky thing, and not every joke will land with every audience. Take it in stride and don't let it shake your confidence. Keep engaging, keep trying, and maybe shift your approach a little. Genuine connection and shared laughter often take time to develop. Remember, humor is subjective, and building a rapport with someone involves more than just making them laugh. Stay authentic, be yourself, and let the relationship unfold naturally. If she's the right person to connect with, your jokes will eventually bring a smile to her face. Intend to introduce others to you. This action of kicking the ball across the field is a clear sign that she doesn't like you at all. If you don't mind, you can meet the girls she wants to introduce to you. Who knows, you may find your true destiny among her girlfriends. It appears that she is metaphorically kicking the ball across the field, a gesture that unmistakably indicates she does not harbor any romantic feelings for you. Rather than dwelling on this rejection, consider the opportunity she is presenting by introducing you to her friends. Who knows, one of them might be the person you are truly destined to meet. By keeping an open mind and engaging with the girls she introduces, you may discover a connection that surpasses your expectations. Embrace this chance as it might lead you to your true destiny, someone who genuinely appreciates and reciprocates your feelings. Her ideal type is not like yours. She accidentally let slip that her ideal man is someone mature, at least 5 to 7 years older than she is, while you happen to be around the same age as her. She mentioned that she is attracted to men who can cook and who enjoy listening to Korean music, which is quite the opposite of you, given your clumsiness in the kitchen and your strong dislike for the type of music she prefers. It's clear that her accidental but intentional revelation about her ideal partner is her subtle way of turning down any romantic possibilities between you two. This clever maneuver serves to affirm that, in her view, the two of you are best suited to remain friends rather than pursue a deeper relationship. And there we have it, friends. Our exploration of the 10 Stoic principles for managing the experience of being ignored. Each principle serves as a step towards building greater resilience and understanding. We've explored how to maintain our composure, communicate effectively, and detach from outcomes, all while keeping our spirits high and steady. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Your engagement and presence truly strengthen this community, making it a supportive space for everyone. Now, I invite you to share your stories in the comments below. Tell us about a time when you were ignored and how you managed to handle it. Did you rise above the situation? What valuable lessons did you learn? Your experiences are not only inspiring but also help us all to learn and grow together. Your comments serve as a beacon of inspiration for others and help spread the powerful message of resilience and inner strength. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from a bit of Stoic wisdom on handling being ignored. Every share extends the reach of our message and empowers more people to rise above their challenges. Thank you once again for joining us at Stoic in Your Life. Continue to embrace Stoicism as we support each other on our journeys towards emotional freedom and inner peace. Until next time, keep rising above and shining bright.